So last week, Kaiju Kim put out this video talking about toxicity within the Godzilla fandom, and there were quite a few big YouTubers sort of filming their responses and talking about their experiences with the community. I had a few people reach out to me asking me if I was going to comment on the situation, if I had anything else to share, and it really didn't feel like there was a place for me to talk about this stuff. Everyone was talking very much about their own experiences, and so, without having some of these experiences of my own, it felt as though I was inserting myself into a story that I didn't need to be in. Well, all of that has changed as of yesterday when it became apparent to me that there is a Discord server out there that really, really doesn't like me. And that's fine. You don't have to like me. But it quickly became rather problematic. So I'll just take a second to share with you some of these photos. So this person here saying KaijuCanuck, more like KaijuCuck. Am I right? When I came up with the name KaijuCanuck, I knew that this nickname was going to come out of somewhere eventually. I'm actually quite surprised it took this long for someone to come up with that, so sorry to say you don't get any originality points for that one, bucko. But then they really go into why they don't like me. I defend Super 7, makes me the worst, corporate company, meat rider, super slop, Super 7, pun. Then there's this point here, bro gets sponsored by Super 7 and meat rides every large toy company. And I think this is a point of clarification that I can make for people. I'm not sponsored by Super 7. Sponsorship would mean that they either pay me to talk about their products or they send me products to review on my channel for free. Neither of that is true. And if it were true, I would have to disclose that in the video so I don't lose my channel, right? Like that's a violation of YouTube's policies. So I'm not a sponsor, or I'm not sponsored by Super 7. I'm an affiliate of Super 7, which is something a little bit different, in which I earn commission if folks that purchase from Super 7 use my link to purchase Super 7 products. So anybody who uses my link, super7.com/KaijuCanuck, I earn 5% of whatever price you pay for the products. For full transparency, I'm happy to tell you that I've made maybe $150 off of commissions just out of the kindness of folks that decide to use my link. It costs them nothing to do that, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm an affiliate. I'm not sponsored by Super 7, and a lot of people can be affiliates. Like, you don't have to be anybody special to be an affiliate. So it feels like they're just angry at me for other people using my link for me to make some money on the side. But all that is to say, like, I talk about Super 7 so much because I genuinely enjoy their products. And if I didn't, I wouldn't talk about them as much. So it's worth mentioning that, like, people are free to not like me. I don't need to be liked. I feel strongly that if anybody talks about something important that is worth talking about, there's going to be people on the other side that disagree with you, just as a consequence of having different lived experiences, being of different mindsets, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, yeah, I know that not everybody's going to agree with me. I know everybody's not going to like me. That's just part of the deal becoming a YouTuber, that's going to happen. So the problem here is that yesterday, this was brought to my attention that there was this poll in this same Discord server asking who of these options should we send to the farm to keep the YouTube algorithm happy. And you can see my name is listed there. The Articulation Series, Michael's listed there. Harold at Figure Mania Shows listed there. Alistair and Dangerville's listed there. And yeah, right there, who do we send to the farm first? So, obviously this is problematic. I'm not going in assuming that this is a real threat. Like, I don't feel threatened by this at all. But it's a very dangerous thing to make jokes about. It is a very, very dangerous thing to make jokes about. I'm going to assume for the rest of this recording that this is a joke. I think that's a very safe assumption to make. Somebody who is on the actual Discord server tweeted in response to my tweet to say, Hi, just to clarify, I'm from the server. The guy who wrote's a nice guy. The post is ironic. Yes, it's a poor joke. It was meant for the server members. This was never meant to go public, and I hope you all forgive him. The fact that this was not meant to be public is not the problem. Like, you shouldn't even be saying this stuff in private. As much as we would like to think that all of our messages are privated and secure and secret, they're not. Right? Especially if you live in the United States. Any of your messages could be pulled for any reason, especially if you're under suspicion. So, you know, like, saying, like, who should we send to the farm first? Like, imagine something happened to somebody on one of these lists, and somebody brings up, oh, well, there was this poll in this Discord server. Like, you're just asking for trouble. You're borrowing trouble. You're borrowing trouble that doesn't exist. So I'm really hoping that if you're listening to this, especially if you're younger, I really would encourage you to not engage in behavior like this. You want to make criticisms about me? Fine, go ahead, do that. That's totally fine. I'm all for it. But don't do stuff like this. Don't make these edgy jokes. My friend has a really good way of putting it, that you only need to win the shit lottery once for your life to be ruined. You know, winning the shit lottery being like being struck by lightning or crashing your car, well, because you're speeding trying to impress a girl. You only need to win the shit lottery once. So your best strategic move is to not play the shit lottery. Don't do it. Do not do this. I would like to give a shout out to Donnie Winter, who reached out to me. He's we actually go a little ways back from our origins on Toho Kingdom, but Donnie, pretty awesome member of the kaiju community. He actually worked with Matt Frank on a comic. I think it's Here in the Shadow of a God. Yeah. Written and drawn by Matt Frank, poetry by Donnie Winter. Great guy. He immediately followed up with me just to say, like, hey, I hope you're okay. And to be clear, like, I am okay. I never really felt like I was in danger from this poll, because I'm not really scared of prepubescent teenagers that would never say this to my face. Please don't do this. Please, please, please don't do this. Every day you make dozens, if not hundreds of decisions that shape the person you are and the person you are going to be. It could be things like eating a healthy meal, deciding to do your dishes in a timely manner rather than waiting for them to rot. It could be 100 things that you choose each day. Each one of these things are inconsequential in and of themselves, but together they push you down a path that you will follow for the rest of your life. When you make edgy jokes or content like this, polls like this, that is a conscious decision to shape this to shape your being into somebody that does this sort of thing. And I really, really would discourage that. You run a serious risk of poisoning your own well or ruining your life. I was trying to find a Twitter thread from, I think it was late last year, where someone tweeted something like, it wasn't even that bad. It was open to interpretation. You could interpret it pretty poorly, but it was something like, wow, like, there are no fire escapes in my school. So if something bad were to happen, it would be disastrous. And that person was reported to the police. They were put into like criminal watch, and their life is ruined now. Right. So that's what I mean. You only have to win the shit lottery once. Doing this poll, participating in this poll, not calling this out, you are engaging in a behavior that puts you at a risk of compromising yourself. Right? Like, you would never go into an airport, onto the airport Wi-Fi, and make the joke like, I hope they don't find the bomb in my bag, right? Like, you would never do that. Please don't do this. Please don't participate in things like this. Again, you can hate my content, right? That's totally fine. But saying, who should we send to the farm? You're just borrowing trouble. So I think it's important to right-size this. At the end of the day, I'm just a dude on the internet that talks about monsters and toys. That's it. That's all I am. That's all I am. If you find enjoyment in that, I'm so glad. If you don't, I'm sorry to hear that. If you don't like the content I'm putting out there, or if you think there are issues with the content I'm putting out there, I hope that you will leave a constructive comment that tells me why you think that. so we can have a discussion about it. Maybe we can meet halfway in the middle, because that happens more often than you might think. If you prefer to run off into your Discord server and to laugh amongst your pals about how shit my content is, go for it. You're more than welcome to do that too. It's not my preference. I'd rather you tell me, what the problem is. But don't go to this extent of making a Discord poll talking about sending someone to the farm. All right? It's not okay. It's not okay. Now, when I was writing down some notes about this yesterday, I wanted to point out that the owner of the server was very quick to actually take down the poll and to ban the person that made the poll, which is amazing, right? That's what you want to see. And I think that kudos is warranted when someone acts this way. And I also want to say that I don't think it's fair to judge a community by the actions of any rogue gun, right? Like, if that was the case, every community would get taken down immediately. I don't think it would be fair to judge this person or their Discord server by the actions of one person who just was making a really edgy joke. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so what I wanted to say at the end of this video was a kudos to this person. What has happened since then, however, is that this user on Twitter, who used to be part of that Discord server, person's name is Swag Gaigan, has sent me a bunch of screenshots from this server that are full of racially charged comments. Really bad, like black people, Indian people, really terrible stuff. So it's not the actions of one individual. It seems as though this has been just the latest item in a rampage of problematic behavior. And so for this Discord server owner, Sir Melee, to talk about wanting people to feel included and safe, anyone who watches my channel knows I like to joke, all this stuff about how they've taken care of their server. And then you get sent these screenshots from people that are still in the server making very inappropriate slurs. I'm not going to show them here. If you have Twitter, you can follow the thread, Sir Gaigan. You can find it yourself. I don't want to get the demonetization ban hammer or the suppression ban hammer. It's very clearly that this server is a problem. The people in the server are a problem. So what I would say to Sir Melee here is you have a choice. Either you can redact this comment that you want your server to be a safe space where people are fine and things like that. And you can say that actually, I just want it to be a space where people can say what they want, free of judgment. And that would jive with the racist comments that are being thrown in there. Or you can take some time to clean up your Discord server of the people that are fundamentally against the message that you have here. The choices are, like, the stuff you're saying here is incongruent with the company you are keeping in your Discord server, and therefore I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So, you know what to do. You know where to find me if you want to chat about it. With all of that being said, there's some really fun stuff coming to the channel. I'm working with a couple of YouTubers on something that'll come out in probably a month or two. It's a little bit ways out. I've got a couple more interviews coming. Donnie Winter, that I was mentioning before, we are working on something together a little bit later in the year, which I'm really excited about because Donnie's great. I think he's a tremendous force for positivity in the community. So there's some really great stuff coming. For the people who don't like the fact I talk about monster arts, they think I defend monster arts, or the fact I defend Super 7. If anything, that just means I'm going to go twice as hard. I'll make twice as much content on those two companies. So, thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we never have to talk about this again. And, hopefully I will have something else to talk to you about soon. Take care.